Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So what's going on with markets? Why did we have our rally being stalled yesterday and today? Well, let's talk about it. What's holding Bitcoin back right now? What's holding the entire market back? There are a few things you need to be aware of. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day, certainly not nearly as good as yesterday. We're back below 90,000, far away from that 93.8 we would like to break. We're back down to 89.4, and it does seem like we may be sliding down even more. But what's causing it? Well, today the U.S. market is certainly not helping. We are opening up in the red. Okay, whenever we open up in red, that's no good. Several things besides oil down today. But what's causing it? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of geopolitical stuff going on, right? There's a lot of stuff that people ain't very happy about or just confused about, right? Obviously, we're still trying to learn more about Venezuela being taken over, but now this takeover of Greenland is a real thing. Rubio is set to talk to the officials of Denmark next week about taking over. And basically, people are saying, you know, there's one of two options that's going to come from this. Three, I guess. One is they are forced to sell it to the U.S., that's option one. Option two is they refuse to sell and U.S. just takes it over using military might, which would be very easy. Or they refuse and Trump does nothing. But his rhetoric about taking over Greenland continues to escalate, saying that there's Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. So, I don't know. People are, I think, feeling this is probably going to cause some confusion and disruption if it happens. This is different than taking over Venezuela. This is the NATO-protected country, which the U.S. is part of. So there's some of that going on. Okay. Tomorrow also, what affects Trump is tomorrow will be tariff decision. Supreme Court is going to rule whether the tariffs are legit or not. So if they're not legit, what are we going to do about those tariffs? What about the collected revenue? Are we going to give them back? Maybe not. This is not even an article about that. But there's that's coming up tomorrow too. And then all these deals that we made, do they get, did they have to renegotiate those trade deals? Hopefully not. So there's that tomorrow. But you know what? Trump is also making other moves too. I think this one is a good one though. Trump says that large investors should not be able to buy single-family homes. Large investors meaning like BlackRocks of the world, like these giant corporations that are buying up all the single-family homes, causing them to go up, keeping the supply low, making inflation go up, etc. This actually is a good thing. If he stops this, I think this will be a good thing. But yeah, inflation is still on people's minds. Rate cuts still on people's mind. Basant just said, we need more rate cuts. It's the only ingredient that's missing right now. And our chances of getting one for this month isn't looking that good. We'll get a very important jobs number tomorrow also, that could definitely swing things in our favor if unemployment ticks upwards, jobs are really low, right? Showing the economy struggling. We'll see. We've gotten a few economic data recently that's actually not so bad, like GDP stuff that shows the economy is actually doing okay. ADP report came out yesterday showing the economy is okay. But, tomorrow will be the true test, the big numbers. We'll see. So I don't know. There's a few things there's a few things that's holding markets back. And specifically for Bitcoin, we have these stupid CME gaps too. Okay. We had, because of our rally from the beginning of the year, we actually formed 2 CME gaps. We filled one of them. One of them was right around 91,000, 92, 91,000. Unfortunately, there's another stupid one between 89 and 88,000. It seems like these CME gaps always get filled one way or another. So that could be also what's stopping us, because we were down there, right? We were hovering in the 88s for a long time, and we filled, we formed a gap. So that could be another reason why we've lost some traction, because we got to fill that gap. ETF inflows also not helping. Rather, I should say outflows. Yesterday, we had a negative 500 million day for Bitcoin, negative 100 million for Ethereum, negative 40 million for XRP, positive 2 million for Sol. That's good. But we had a negative day yesterday. So obviously a lot of people on Wall Street just dumping, and it's unfortunate. And because of all this, we had basically $500 million of liquidations. This also is probably holding us back. A lot of people are very excited, right? The last week or so, we had a pretty good recovery. I know people are excited, but when people get excited now, like the first move is just to go long, right? Rather than buy, they just go long. They throw their 5x, 10x, 20x on Bitcoin and Sol and XRP, and they try to ride it up. And in some cases, it works. But when the market gets too frosty, too much on one side, guess what happens? The market makers, they just pull the rug right under you. And I think that also contributed greatly to what we've been seeing. There's just too much liquidations on the long side, and then the market makers are like, okay, if you guys gonna hand us free money, we're gonna take it. So unfortunately, that has been the case too over the last few days. So all this is kind of like what's causing us to slide back down, unfortunately. All right. So there's a lot of confusion over the future, uncertainty over things that haven't come out yet, big things coming out tomorrow, right? We have leverage liquidation. We have these stupid CME gaps. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. That's why the markets, it's not just Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, tech isn't doing too well. Even commodities like silver and gold, they stalled and they're coming down too. So it's like pretty broad. Wall Street just like not sure what to do. And when they're not sure, they just rather sell. That's usually what they do. But does this mean, again, that the rally is forever over, or Bitcoin is forever going to be below 100K? No. It's just there's a lot of stuff, okay? Sometimes we go through a lot of stuff. But let's not forget the last week, how good it felt to see Bitcoin come up very suddenly, the alts come back to life. That's a gentle reminder of how things will be when we recover upwards. Because I know we've been down for a few months and it sucks and it feels like nothing could ever go our way. But the last few days, basically the whole week, shows us how good things can be once again when we turn around. Things turn around really quickly. Bernstein also believes 2026 will be a good year. Basically, the estimates from last year got moved to this year, maintaining 150,000 top for Bitcoin for this year, and then 200,000 in 2027. So just kind of shifting the last 2 years estimates to the next 2 years. Conservative. Like I said, if we bounce back, once we break through 127, 150 is right around the corner, right? So it could certainly happen. We just need to get through some of this all this uncertainty and stuff, right? Now with taking over countries, this out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected that like the US could just take over a country and no one really seems to like care. You know, you figure like China and Russia would be like really angry that the US just took over Venezuela, but they haven't said anything. But now taking over Greenland is a different story. now it's approaching, you know, where they are. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff like that that's going on. It's just, you can't predict these kind of things. You really can't. Like, we've never seen this before. Well, maybe we have a very long time ago, even before my time. I don't know. But still, we got a lot of great things happening. Once we get through all this, we got a lot of great things happening. That's why the recovery will be so good, and we will continue forward, okay? Bitcoin is a global asset. It's a global asset class. Even China, Hong Kong taking it seriously. Obviously, US taking it seriously. Even countries that are suffering from turmoil or hyperinflation, they're taking it seriously. Like even Venezuela has 600,000 Bitcoin. A lot of other countries also hold a lot of Bitcoin. And not to mention public trade companies and states. Texas was the very first state to actually put Bitcoin in the reserve. Florida is trying to do the same thing. There's other states that's trying to do the same thing. The landscape has changed forever. For the better. But, again, we got to get through some of these things that we're going through. Mark says, liberated, not took over. Just wait. I have a feeling the U.S. is not going to be giving Venezuela back anytime soon. Or we're going to cut deals where basically we take all of their oil and minerals and then give it back. Something like that. You know, I don't think we're just going to liberate them and then just say, okay, you can have your country back. It's not going to work like that. Here's something. Bitfinix Longs are dropping. And you can see the last few times Bitfinix Longs started dropping, what happened? The market rallied, right? And you could see how it's doing that right now. We did start rallying from the bottom. We just haven't had that terrific rally yet. But this shows it could be right around the corner, right? The last few days showed how fast things can move. We moved from 87,000 to 94, 95,000 within a matter of days. Okay, just through FOMO, just through some excitement. Now imagine when we have some really good catalyst that drives us further, we could break through that 95,000, get to 100,000, 110 very easily. We got a lot of metrics that show that the turnaround is happening. It's just we got to get through some of this stuff again, okay? You look at this, the Mayer multiple, Bitcoin is as oversold as previous crypto winters. Just take a second and think about that. It's as low as crypto winters. So that tells you something. Recovery is coming. It's going to be great, and it's going to be huge. Ethereum. TPS hits all-time high again. You got a lot of enthusiasm over staking ETFs, staking rewards being given out as dividend. You got Tom Lee that's still buying and staking his entire portfolio. Basically, like how much ETH does he have? He's staking it all. So obviously he continues to believe, and so many others do too. World Liberty Financial wants to become a U.S. bank after, issuing their stablecoin. They partner with CZ and Binance. And if they become a bank, that's going to be very good for them. I wonder if Binance is coming back to the U.S. I think it will. I think it will. All right. That's pretty much it. Only other thing is I saw this. You know, prediction markets are so popular, so hot right now. You have a congressman that says, you know, public officials should not be making predictions because they sway, they know things. First of all, they know what's being voted on, what's going to be yes or no. They have so much influence. But then, you know what? It's the same thing. Then they should be prohibited from buying stocks. You know, you look at some of these people that have made hundreds of millions of dollars through their stock investments. Is it because they're good investors or because they have inside information no one else does? Right? Imagine loading up on defense stocks right before all this military action. Right? Like, so it makes sense. It shouldn't be just limited on prediction markets. But anyways, speaking of prediction markets, got an update for you guys on Clash Picks. So you guys know I've been working, oh, I forgot my camera's off. Clash Picks is my prediction market, powered by Clash, free to predict for all because we have Peak Clash. And we've added new features on here in our private beta. First of all, you can see trending. So now we have a category for trending. So these are the hottest events that's out there. And very easy for people to understand. If they've come to the site for the first time, they don't know what to look at. You look at trending. We also added creator events. There's a filter right here. So in the future, I'll be able to invite other creators and have them create their own pools, okay, or events like this. And then they will be able to share with their audience, right? This is a really complete platform. Something that I'm really proud of, and this will be launching soon. Clash Picks is going to dominate the prediction market. I could tell you that. So I'm very excited about this and the future of Clash. It's going to be fantastic. So I just want to give you guys another update on it. All right, that's about it. Other than that, Bitcoin is still holding right where it was this morning. Not looking too good. Even like I said, nothing's doing that well right now. Even silver, it, dropped 5% from yesterday. It breached 82, and then now it's down to 74. Gold is down today as well. Tesla, Nvidia, Robinhood down. Coinbase turned green. That's always a good sign. When Coinbase turns green, that means Wall Street is buying. So we may actually see a turnaround. Well, we'll see. Yeah, Coinbase is starting to flip. Oh, you guys, it's kind of cut off for you guys. You guys don't quite see that. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Sorry about that. Jonathan says, are you still in cahoots with Dex Tools to get ClashPix integrated? That's a strange term that you're using, cahoots. That has a negative connotation to me. I don't know if you meant to say that, but the answer is yes. So I've been trying to get ClashPix done because they are very interested in integrating with their new derivative trading platform called Perp Tools. They don't have anything close to what we have, so we're trying to create something so that they can use it themselves and put it right on their webpage. And then they have millions of users that they could help us draw in. So still talking to them about that, but waiting for ClashPix to be completely finished. I think we will do auditing next week with CertiK. But right now it's in private beta. But any of you guys could test it if you want. Just join our Discord and give me your wallet address. Heath Jolly. Greenland can potentially secede from Denmark if they both agree. Trump is just expediting that. Yes. Denmark said that if the people of Greenland vote to be annexed, then they will let them. Okay. But obviously Denmark is saying that. They don't really want Greenland to annex from Denmark. But Trump is actually, forcing the issue, right? So probably after this, Rubio's probably going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to buy it for this amount over this number of years, and you're going to get some kind of profit sharing or something like that. I'm sure he's going to offer something like that. They're going to say no, and you're right. Then the U.S. will probably cause Greenland to make a decision themselves, to take a vote whether they want to be annexed or not. And it's just wild. Isn't it just wild to think that this is happening? Years ago, I was thinking, back in the day, countries still went to wars, to take over land, right? This was, what I say back in the day, like hundreds of years ago. Maybe not hundreds of years ago, but like almost 100, 200, 300, 500 years ago. You think about the Roman Empire or Genghis Khan or, the colonials, whatever. People were still discovering land. People were like going to wars, taking over. Borders weren't really solidified. Nowadays, every piece of land is owned by someone. You don't just find land that isn't owned by anyone, right? And borders haven't been redrawn in a long time. And now all of a sudden, you're starting to see Trump shake things up, just like, we're going to take Venezuela, and there's nothing anyone could do about it. He just did it, and now he's forcing to take Greenland, maybe Colombia next, maybe, who knows? It's kind of wild to think about. There's rumors about Mexico. Taking a page out of Putin's book. Yeah, isn't it so shocking that Putin and Russia hasn't said anything? Greenland is right, like in the Arctic area, right between the U.S. and Russia, right? I'm sure Russia doesn't want the U.S. to put all these missiles or nukes in Greenland that's pointed directly at Moscow. I'm really shocked that they're not saying anything. China doesn't like it. China doesn't like how Trump always states there's like, there's so many Russian and Chinese ships all around Greenland. I don't even know if that's true. We need a Trump factor in the UK. Totally up. You know what? I've been talking to people. One of the developers of ClashPix is also from the UK. And he says the same thing. He says the UK needs help, needs strong leadership. So I don't know. You guys tell me if that's true. I don't know who the new prime minister is, but I don't hear good things. Lazaro, good morning, my friend. In the last 10 days, I put a half Bitcoin in Clash. Keep pushing. We're doing our part. I believe in you. Discord is crypto, bro. Thank you, my man. I don't really advise people, even on my own project Clash. I would say if you have Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin, man. But I really do appreciate that show of confidence in Clash. I'm super excited about ClashPix. I think it's going to be a game changer. I really do. I'm not totally showing off to you guys right now, like, because I want to make sure that the code is hardened, that we're going to make sure there's no vulnerabilities. We're going to do a penetration test. We're going to make sure that it is solid before releasing. Don't want any hacks and stuff like that happening. But we got a really good economic plan. We got a really good marketing plan. And I think it's really going to be a game changer for Clash. It really is. It's going to be a disruption for the entire industry. All these other prediction markets, like Pi Market, they better watch out because I think we're going to eat up market share really quickly. There's not a whole lot out there that's really easy and friendly to use. I just hope that we can handle the volume. I think it's going to like blow up really quickly. Uh, Holly Jolly, I think Venezuela takeover is due to national security, not just oil. Do you think Russia and China and Venezuela is the modern day equivalent of Russia and Cuba during the Cuba Missile Crisis? I don't think it's due to national security. Trump didn't even say that. He basically said it was due to oil. Like, Trump speaks what's on his mind for good or for bad, but he basically said it's just for oil. Um, I don't know if there was a lot of Russian and Chinese spies in or military in Venezuela. I do know, I hear that Russia's been secretly selling their oil with Venezuela. That's how they've been, because Russian oil has been sanctioned by basically NATO, US, and everyone else. So I hear that they've been selling their oil through Venezuela, but now that's being cut off. So this could also be a way to force Putin to end the war with Ukraine faster. So that could be a big reason, but they're not just not saying it. I don't know because they can't prove it or something. But that could be really smart. But I just don't see the U.S. giving Venezuela back ever. Like they may say, okay, yeah, you guys could hold elections and stuff, and we'll give control back. But what's being done behind the scenes is there's no doubt that we're going to take over a lot of their oil. All the U.S. oil companies are going to start drilling there. He already said it. Trump already said it because we're removing sanctions and all that. It's going to benefit us greatly because of all the oil. And we find their BTC stash. Okay, thank you. We're gonna take 60 billion worth of Bitcoin, put it in our reserve. Um, yeah. Even if we do give it back, we're gonna be taking a lot. I'm pretty sure of that. And when I say we, the U.S., not me personally. Well, you know what, guys? Today Coinbase is green. Okay, that's a really good sign. So we may actually see Bitcoin do a reversal today. Coinbase only turns green when Wall Street is buying, obviously. And when Wall Street is buying Coinbase, we fill that one CME gap. So maybe we don't have to fill the other one. Isn't it wild though? Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, and it's not in the Middle East. It's right here on our side of the world in South America. Like, you figure the Middle East controls all the oil, right? But Venezuela, so close to the US, has the largest oil reserve pile on the planet. It's crazy. It's crazy. And quite possibly gold reserves too. They may be sitting on the largest gold reserve or gold mines in the world too, even more than Africa. Just one country holding more gold than all of Africa. It's shocking that no one else has taken over beforehand. Corey says, Supreme Court going to tank the markets tomorrow, you think? Looks like there's going to be stop tariffs. You know what? Markets actually react positively to that. Okay? I don't think Wall Street really likes tariffs. I think most people don't like tariffs because it's been causing things to become very expensive. So if the Supreme Court rules no tariffs, we could actually get a rally. I don't think the markets will react negatively to that. But I don't know what Trump and Bassett is going to do afterwards, because they said they have a way to go around that. I don't know what their way around that is. If there's no tariffs, what else they could do? The Sage Bike. How does Clash Picks help with price of Clash? That's a good question. Every prediction, okay, every prediction event, we will take a small cut of that and put it in our treasury. So on Clash events, for example, okay, say the volume is 1 million volume. We will take 5% of that. That's 50,000 in Clash. We'll put it in our treasury. So in a way, that's burn effect. Now, we will also have Sol and USDT and USDC events. We will also take a percentage of that. And when we take a percentage of those, we will convert it to Clash and put it into treasury. So if we have an event, for example, like silver's price by February 1st. Okay, let's say this has 1 million volume in USDC. We're going to take 50,000 of that, 5% roughly, and we're going to convert that to Clash and then put it in our treasury. This is how it's going to benefit Clash. Okay, our treasury is going to be beefed up through the fees that we collect in Clash Picks. And it's also kind of like burning. People always talk about burning, but rather than burning, we're going to put it in our treasury. We're going to put it to good use. Once Clash is in a treasury, we could use it for many things, like beefing up our LP or providing liquidity to future exchanges like Coinbase. There's so many things we could do rather than just purely burn it. So yeah, this is why it's going to be a game changer for Clash. Tariffs potential means no income tax in the future. Yeah, no. You know, money has to come from one way or another, right? It doesn't just magically appear. When it magically appears, that's when inflation happens, and that's no good. You got to think about, like, same thing with countries that offer free healthcare versus US that does not offer free healthcare. So you're thinking, well, man, it's awesome to be in a country with free healthcare like Canada. But then you realize after living there, there's other taxes that makes up for the free healthcare. And it's not always good because it takes you months to see a doctor, right? So it's kind of the same thing. It's like, okay, tariffs somehow can replace income tax if we increase the tariff so much to make up for income tax. Okay, sounds like it's awesome. We're going to be saving a lot more money. But guess what's going to happen? The price of goods skyrockets to compensate for that. There's always a trade-off. You don't have a lot of tariffs, and then you don't pay income tax, and then items of goods, price of goods and services stay low. That's not going to be the case. So, you just have to be careful. The grass always seems greener on the other side until you step into it. Then you realize that it's not as green as you thought. You know what the problem with doctors are? And no offense to doctors that are watching. Because obviously I respect doctors. It's a very, very good profession and we all need it. But a lot of the general doctors, okay, and I can tell you from experience and from family experience. It's like general, like, what do you call it? Like, not like a specialized doctor, just like a doctor you normally go to for a health checkup or something like that. They're so used to just putting you on some kind of medicine rather than actually treat the root cause. And I'm going to go on a limb and say most of like our pains and aches and GI issues and whatever, obesity and knee pains and back pains and all that stuff, I'd say majority of those things, the root cause is obesity, just us being too overweight. That's it. If you drop the weight, your cholesterol level goes down, your blood level normalizes, right? High blood pressure goes away, your knee pain goes away, your back pain goes away, you feel much healthier, sleep apnea gets better, all these things. If you just simply dropped weight. But the doctors won't tell you that. They will prescribe you with 100 billion pain medicines or other medicines or cholesterol lowering medicines and stuff like that. Now, I know some people genetically have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about just like normal obese people. They'll just put you on all these medications when they really should just tell you, go drop 50 pounds. Then you'll be healthier and you don't need to be on all these. But the doctors don't tell you that. They're too afraid to tell you that, or they make too much money prescribing drugs, so they don't tell you that. Like, I can say this from experience because I've been telling you guys I have knee pains, right? From playing basketball, I ruptured my Achilles on one foot, on one leg, and my ACL on another, lost meniscus. I have arthritis. And for a period of time a few years ago, I couldn't even stand. Every time I sat and then stood up, I had horrible knee pain. Like so much so, and knee weakness. It was so hard to get around, and it was so irritating because I'm not that old yet. And I went to the doctor, or orthopedic doctor, several times for several different kind of shots, like a stem cell shot, like a fake one, not a real one, where they take your blood and take stem cells out, inject you with it. You know, the cortisol or cortisone shots. And and PT, did all that. And then he's like, there's nothing you could do. Just get a knee replacement surgery when you get older. It's the same deal with my brother-in-law right now. The same thing. He's having horrible knee problems, and he went to the doctor several times, and they told him, there's nothing we could do. Just get a knee replacement surgery. But you know what? I ignored that. So for 3 months, I went on carnivore. Okay. I dropped about 20, 25 pounds, cut out all the carbs. And then after 3 months, my knee pain went away. It straightened back. And now I don't have the same problem as before. And I tell people that, especially in the US, drop the carbs, go purely meat, veggies, right? And see how you feel. The inflammation goes away. And, that's a prime example. Again, this is not hereditary or like some really chronic disease. That's different, okay? But I'm just talking about in general. I was just too overweight, and my body was too inflamed, and that's it. But the doctor didn't tell me that. He didn't say, just go drop some pounds and you'll be fine. So that's what I'm saying. So now my brother-in-law, they basically told him, you need to go get a knee replacement. I told him, just go on carnivore diet for 3 months, drop the carbs, drop the pounds, see how your knee is then, right? And then make a decision rather than try to like schedule a knee surgery, which is going to set you back for years, Years. Having knee replacement surgery is not an easy thing. Your recovery time is so long. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Off topic about doctors in general. General practice doctors. Fasting helps with that. Fasting is a way for your body to kind of like clear up. Clarkson reacts. ClashPix mobile app. That is going to be worked on. You can go on ClashPix on your website. I mean, on your mobile phone right now through a browser. It works really great. But yeah, the next step is to have mobile apps developed. Then it'll be even awesomer. Someone just made this prediction. Will the U.S. take over Greenland in 2026? That's very relevant to what we're seeing right now. Polyjek. Jordan, not true. My mom had a total knee replacement 3 weeks ago. She's now walking without cane. She's 72. Good for her. I'm sure she could, but don't tell me she's not going through a lot of pain. Because my mother-in-law got it, and she still says she suffers pain every single day. Despite the fact she could walk, but the pain is still there, and it's not going away. So, Polyjek, if you're telling me she's walking around pain-free, I don't believe that. Weldy Well says, I had 2 PRP injections in my elbow, both failed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The fake stem cell where they draw your blood and supposedly they filter out the stem cells and then inject it back into you. I had that in my knee. Did absolutely nothing. That's fake. Just a waste of money. It was like $500 a shot or something. Waste of money. Just like cortisone shots. I think it's called cortisone. It gives you temporary relief for like a few weeks, maybe a few months. They say it's up to 3 months, but it's really not. Maybe like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's great, and then it goes away. And then you're dependent on it forever. These are for like, issues that, I don't know. In some cases, I'm sure it works. If you got in a serious car accident or something, you're really inflamed and you need it, yes. But like for general people that are just like suffering through aches and pains due to age or injuries, those kind of things don't work. Yeah, everyone in there is saying PRP is just wasteful. Don't ever get a PRP injection. Any doctor that tells you, okay, try a PRP, that's what they're called, injection, just say no. You're just wasting your money. You're not going to get any benefit from it. Now, I hear other countries that offer real stem cell like injections work. I've never gotten one of those, so I don't know. But I hear in some countries you go get a real stem cell injection and they're like miracles. I don't know about that. Hey, look, while I've been rambling, we're back above 90,000. I tell you guys, Coinbase is a good indicator. Although Coinbase is not shooting up that much. But usually when Coinbase is green, that means Bitcoin being green. Vizzy says, I had ankle surgery which went wrong and now have nervous issues. I had 6 cortisone shots and it did not help. Vizzy, I'm very sorry to hear that. Cortisone shots is temporary relief. It does not cure the problem. I don't even know what you do with like nerve issues. Like, I can't imagine the pain with that. Dr. Eric says, come see me in South Carolina. We do real stem cells. How can you do real stem cells in the US when it's illegal? SCR. When Clash does more than Whiff, Sheep, and even Doge, I bought it again. Gina loves Clash. It does. Thank you. Although I'll say Sheep does have like their own decks and stuff like that, but no one talks about it or ever uses it. So I'll still argue that Clash is going to do more. Cortisone addresses only inflammation and F's up your immune system. I hear it's really bad for your like cartilage too. If you have too many cortisone shots, it weakens your cartilage and it's not good for you either. My sister traveled down to Cancun and got stem cells. She said it's amazing, it's cheaper. See, I was thinking about doing that. When I took my last vacation down in Mexico, I was thinking about making an appointment to do that, but I just never had time. I may do that. Although my knee's feeling pretty good. I don't have my 20-year-old knees, but you know, it's feeling good. I don't have problems standing up or, you know, walking around, doing daily things, biking and stuff like that. I'm pretty good. David Miller says, I have no meniscus in my left knee and had spinal surgery after being hit by a van when I worked in the security. Ouch. How are you feeling in your knee and your back? Jamie says, I sold all my sheep for Clash. Have not regretted it. I'm glad to hear that. Clash picks is going to be the future, and we're still holding tournaments. We had a really good tournament yesterday with the pros. I had a fun time watching. I love watching Clash Royale players now. We're going to have another one tomorrow for the expert level, people that are above 10,000 trophies. So I don't want to ignore the tournaments. They're still the primary backbone of Clash. And we still draw in more players every week. And players need to hold Clash in order to win prizes and giveaways. So there's that. But I think Clash Picks is going to be another extension. It's going to be huge. And we make predictions about the tournaments, about crypto, about world events, sports, anything. We peaked yesterday at like 42 million. We came back down a little bit because the market turned, but man, we're holding really, really strong compared to beginning of the year. Just like a few days ago, we more than doubled because of excitement over Clash Picks, I think. And a lot of the whales that we're selling have stopped because they're either out or now they're holding again. All right, guys, that is it. Overall, yeah, we got a lot of things holding us back right now, okay? Greenland, Venezuela, tariffs, jobs numbers, who knows? CME gaps, a lot of things, but we will recover. The last week has shown us how good a recovery feels and how fast it could come, right? We got entire 2026 to look forward to. It's going to get better, guys. All right. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight. Some of you guys tonight. And we'll go from there. All right. Have a good one. Take care.